names we expect to hear called on Thursday is Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. Daniel Jeremiah has him going 7th to the Lions. In his latest mock draft, Fields is having his second pro day tomorrow. The 49ers will be there, presumably looking for a QB to pick with that third selection. While we're on this topic, let's welcome in our NFL draft expert, Daniel Jeremiah, and of course, Coach Brian Billick here with us. DJ, why is Justin Fields having this second pro day tomorrow?
Well, it's unique in the year that we're in where you can't do these private workouts. So truthfully, this is like a semi-private workout that's being dressed up as a second pro day. There's only going to be a few teams there that are quarterback-needy teams, those teams picking in the top of the draft, the Niners being one of them. And I used this reference a little bit earlier. Coach will appreciate it because it'll probably date both of us, but it's going to be like a jukebox. Whatever song that the 49ers want to hear, Justin Fields is going to play that tune. So that's what we're going to get here at this workout. And when I use the analogy, I realized that we don't have jukeboxes anymore and nobody even knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is something that I don't know that the workout tomorrow is going to change a lot, but it is just kind of checking the box. It gives the 49ers a chance to interact directly. That's really what most of these workouts are about now. DJ's exactly right. The teams need their touches, so to speak. And for a guy, particularly if you're going to take a quarterback this high, you've already looked at the film. You probably already have your board set in that regard, but you want that final check of the box just to get a sense of it. For Justin Fields, it's all about can he indeed fit within the pocket and the style of play that the 49ers, or anybody for that matter, wants to work. He's good outside the pocket, clearly, but it's his ability inside the pocket that people have to look at to decide if they're going to take him as a top 10 pick.
I mean, Coach, you literally wrote the book when it comes to selecting quarterbacks here. You have it right behind you. A little plug for Coach there. Let's talk about some other teams here, though. The Falcons have the number 4 overall pick, and they have Matt Ryan, their coach. GM Terry Fontenot was asked about whether they'll take a quarterback with that selection. He went and said that, look, it's a good time to go to QBs, and the time is now to do it. DJ, though, do you think that they should go QB at number 4?
Oh, for me, MJ, to me, I'm looking at that situation with Atlanta, and I'm saying I've got going to be a 36-year-old quarterback. If I think I can win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years with Matt Ryan, I get it. Hold off on taking one. But in my opinion, I don't think they're there. So I'm going to get the next quarterback who's going to be ready to take over for Matt Ryan. I don't think you can afford to pass on that opportunity, provided you have the grades to take him there with that 4th overall pick. To me, I think this is a little bit of a reset. New general manager, new head coach. That usually comes with finding the next quarterback.
Yeah, if it is, I'm fine with that, but then let Matt Ryan go. We've seen this picture before, and it's not a pretty one. Yeah, you can say, okay, look what they did in Green Bay, and that Green Bay did. They brought in Bryce Jordan and sat him in behind Aaron Rodgers, and then you look at what Pat Mahomes sat in between Alex Smith. Well, in Kansas City. Well, those were 2 good football teams. Atlanta's not a good football team. So if you take one of these quarterbacks, he's going to play this year. And Matt Ryan, let's remember, he's led the league in completions over the last 2 years, over 65%, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on a bad football team. Matt Ryan can still play. So if you want to make this move and go on, I'm all good with that. Typically, that's a good move for a first-year head coach. Align yourself with the quarterback that's going to be long-term. But go ahead and get Matt Ryan out of there and give him a chance. Trade him, get some value for him, let him go someplace else. Otherwise, Matt Ryan can win for you. Now, like GJ says, you're going to win a Super Bowl the next couple of years? No. But are you going to do it with the rookie quarterback? No. They're not that good a football team. So, yeah, I have no problem with them taking the quarterback. I don't like it if they're going to do it and try to
2 weeks away, just a little over. Coach Brian Billick, Jane Slater, and Kim Jones all on deck as we reset rosters in the NFC East. But we're going to get started with the top stories of the day with Tom Pelissero and Mike Garafolo as we take a look here at the latest headlines around the NFL. Hello, guys. All right, Tom and Mike, there seems to be a difference of opinion between the league and the players' union when it comes to participation in off-season voluntary workouts. Tom, what's happening here?
Well, MJ, Broncos and Seahawks players became the first 2 groups today to announce they will not show up for in-person voluntary workouts this spring, citing in part ongoing concerns related to COVID-19. Now, this follows urging from the NFLPA, which has been pushing for another all-virtual offseason like a year ago. The union told players in a call on Friday and reiterated in a memo today that that push for the all-virtual offseason continues, and it's the recommendation from their medical experts that players not show up for any voluntary work. I can tell you that other teams and their players have also been having calls. Some of those, I'm told, have been heated. You can expect there are going to be some more of these announcements in the coming days, but we do not yet know what exactly, if anything, players are boycotting. Off-season programs are scheduled to begin on Monday, but conversations ongoing between the NFL and the NFLPA over the structure of the offseason. One league proposal would have the players not showing up in person for the first 2 weeks of the program. In-person activities beginning not until May. Remember, everything is voluntary, Mike, except for that June minicamp prior to training camp. It also is worth mentioning that some players already have been in team facilities working out on their own.
Now, the players would tell you that the quality of play did not suffer last year when they had a virtual offseason program. Some coaches would probably disagree. I know I had this conversation with Sean O'Hara when we were on Good Morning Football a couple of weeks ago. He thinks that the technique was not as strong for offensive linemen, and I've heard that from some offensive linemen as well. But a lot of players are saying the quality of play, the product itself was totally fine. And look how many rookies contributed as well. So that's why they're making this push. And the hope is that the league just relents and says, okay, we'll go virtual once again here, because it could get a little awkward for some guys who have big workout bonuses tied to being in attendance in the spring. Let's go right to the Broncos. Von Miller's got one for $500,000. Now, I think he'll be okay if he punts on that, but it's still a lot of money for him to give up. And some other guys, it's a bigger chunk of what they make. The Packers often incentivize players to show up for spring workouts with workout bonuses, over $5 million total in bonuses for Green Bay players.
All right, that's a lot to take in there, guys, but we have another sort of logistical situation to talk about here, too, because the league sent out a note to teams about vaccine requirements for team employees. What are the details on that, Tom?
That's right, MJ. The NFL sent several updates regarding vaccines to clubs today. Among them, the league directed clubs to set up vaccination sites at their facilities or their stadiums to cover team staff members, players, as well as eligible family members. Now, the NFL and the NFLPA have said publicly players will not be required to take a vaccine in order to participate, but there was also a key line in this saying that anyone in terms of staff who is not vaccinated will not be eligible to have Tier 1 or Tier 2 status unless they have a valid medical or religious reason. What that means? Well, take coaches. They are all in Tier 1. If they're not vaccinated, Mike, they cannot be on the field.
Now, the players themselves, there is a lot of skepticism still amongst them with regard to the vaccines. If they don't take it, they're going to have to test daily. They'll have to wear a mask everywhere, and they won't be treated in the same way as those who are vaccinated. So perhaps they could be put on the shelf, even if they're a close contact. All this stuff would have to be worked out. And I spoke to a team executive today who said he had conversations with a few players recently who said that they're still a little skeptical when it comes to the vaccine. Well, today's memo and everything that's going to come forward could change a lot of their minds, because they'll have to go through a lot of other protocols that vaccinated players will not have to go through, MJ.
Yeah, just a very real reminder that we are still in the middle of a pandemic. All right, guys, thank you. And we are 16 days from the 2021 NFL Draft. It's history in the making as the future stars of the NFL take the stage live from Cleveland. The 2021 NFL Draft presented by Verizon starts Thursday, April 29th in prime time, right here on NFL Network, ABC, and ESPN. Then you can watch a special Total Access right after. And one of the names we expect to hear called on Thursday is Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. Daniel